But moving on, we the title, obviously, a lot of you guys is, raging inside the chat, calling this clickbait. It ain't our clickbait, brother. We're just delivering the news from a well-versed NFL insider, Albert Breer, who kind of broke down piece by piece, 1 through 32, what's going on for the NFL draft by each team. The Detroit Lions blurb read as this: needs, edge, defensive tackle, offensive guard. This is what you need to know. He says, obviously, this is a roster that's in really good shape, allowing for the Lions to target certain needs, and the defensive line is very much one to keep an eye on. Certainly finding a bookend for Aiden Hutchinson has been a focus for a while for Dan Campbell and general manager Brad Holmes. But I've heard more about their search for a defensive tackle, which is something we talk about a little later too, within a deep class that should give them some options. It makes sense. Ali McNeil's coming back off a torn ACL, Levon Zarica is on a one-year deal, and DJ Reader isn't getting any younger. Receiver is another spot to consider, with a fifth-year option decision coming on Jameson Williams, with some in NFL circles believing he could be traded. This isn't from, Hocus Pocus Radio in frickin' Wisconsin or wherever the hell.
Hey,
this is
you
from
watch your
Albert
mouth.
Breer, Sports Illustrated, saying NFL circles believing he could be traded pertaining to Jameson Williams. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's different coming from him than it is a speculation or connecting dots from our guy Mike Payton. You can connect that dot after the Brad Holmes press conference too. If it's something that NFL teams are discussing, it becomes more of a reality because of this. I truly believe you keep Jameson Williams for the next 2 years regardless, because you are knocking on the door of a Super Bowl. That without question, that's what you do. But what happens is when other teams become intrigued, they start asking questions, they start sending offers, and then that reality comes more real for Brad Holmes to act on. And that's the only part that concerns me. But as we sit right now, the Detroit Lions are in a Super Bowl contention window. There is no rush or need to trade Jameson Williams at all whatsoever, especially come draft night. If I'm getting rid of Jameson Williams because of his future contract or whatever, it's not going to be for a draft pick.
No.
It's not going to be for a question mark. It's going to be for someone that's going to serve my team and help me achieve my goal of winning a Super Bowl right now. It's going to be something that helps me get better, not something that I'm hoping happens in the future. And that's why I don't think this is, I don't want to say it has any legs, because obviously it has legs, as Albert Breer is reporting on it, but I just don't think it's something that's going to come to fruition. I don't think it's anything worth worrying about.
Yeah, I honestly think that the NFL circles that Albert Breer is hearing that from are Mike Payton. Like, I'm not even joking. That's probably what it is. Like, Mike Payton's, his shit blew up about Jameson Williams. It's not hard to believe that another NFL reporter saw that, and you can make that connection. That is an NFL circle who believe he might be traded. Again, we said it before. I'm going to say it again. I would be extremely, extremely surprised if Jameson Williams was traded this season. You still got him this year. You got a fifth-year option and then possibly a franchise tag the year after that. We saw what he means to this offense. We saw how explosive he is as a player. We know that him and Jared Goff have a very good connection now, and they're in sync.
Best friends.
And the whole Matthew Golden thing, I think trading Jameson Williams to draft Matthew Golden would be a stupid decision.
I agree.
I think that would be a step back. It would just falter the offense even more, an offense that already has a lot of moving parts in their coaching staff. I think you need to keep the players as the players, at least for right now. And moving on from Jameson Williams in the fourth year of his 5-year rookie contract doesn't make sense to me. I think it's going to get down to like a T. Higgins situation with what Jameson Williams is dealing with his contract, and that's further down the road. Right now, you are a Super Bowl contender. You have one of the best rosters in football. I would be extremely, extremely surprised if the Detroit Lions move from Jameson Williams. I just can't see it happening.
And I don't believe NFL circles will be Mike Payton. I think it's actually conversations happening between GMs, but that doesn't mean Brad Holmes is willing to move off of Jameson Williams right now. I think we pick up the fifth-year option. He plays this year, plays next year. Then you're faced with that contract conversation. Do we throw the franchise on it and just complete the mission if we had to win at that point? Or do we, is a contract more affordable at that point, depending on what the rest of the roster looks like? I think there's more. It's the same thing as Miles. Not the same thing, because Myles Garrett's a fucking Hall of Famer. So let's get that part out of it. But when we were talking about wanting Myles Garrett, Brad Holmes wanted Myles Garrett. Brad Holmes called for Myles Garrett. Did it happen? No. The Browns weren't willing to move on from Myles Garrett. So circles may be talking. There may be buzz of it, someone wanting to happen. doesn't mean it's going to happen. It takes two to tango. Same thing with moving up or back in this year's draft class. Yeah, you may hear some buzz around all those things. You connect the dots around all that, but it takes two to tango. You need the other party to agree to that conversation. And it's just with Jameson Williams, with us not going to the Super Bowl, not going to happen.
And I think Lions fans need to be prepared for this kind of stuff because every year this is going to happen. With what you have, with the way Brad Holmes drafts, with the contracts you have down the line, every single year we're going to hear, should the Lions move on from A? Should the Lions trade B? Should they do that? It's going to continue to happen, whether it be Brian Branch in the future, whether it be Jahmyr Gibbs in the future. There's always going to be that thing coming up because you have so many good players and you have so many contracts that you're going to need to sign. And Jameson Williams is one of those that is coming to fruition, and he looks like he's going to be a star in this league, and a star wide receiver is going to require a lot of money to sign. So we'll see. But like I said, it is not happening this year.
Absolutely not.
I would be extremely upset with the organization if they traded Jameson Williams and drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. I think that would be a stupid move. And
I don't even think it'd be that way. If they trade him, it's not going to be because you're getting. It's going to be because you're getting fucking TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy.
Yeah, they're not going to. It's not going to.
It's not going to be for a question mark.
No.
I mean, that'd be. Brad Holmes is a smart guy. Brad Holmes obviously built this from close to the dirt. Like they did actually built it from the basement. Number 2 draft, worst fucking fuck everything we had going on. It was awful. Brad Holmes built it into what it is today. He's not an idiot. He's not going to trade Jameson Williams for a question mark. It's just not going to work that way.
And like I said, now that
unless the Hall picks
with the chemistry that we've seen him and Jared Goff establish over the past season, with him finally having an off season,
and finding his footing as an NFL receiver,
him finally having a training camp, knowing he's going into a season where he's going to be ready to go from week 1. A contract year situation where I expect Jameson Williams to have an insane season this year. No, I just can't see it.
I mean, you saw the route tree expand like just last year. It's not his sophomore season at all, no, for sure. But in terms of like just being an NFL player for the first time in his career, I think that last year was that. And now we're going to see him take a step from then on. Yeah. I think now you can start judging Jameson Williams as a football player moving forward. Not happening this year. And no, I don't compare it. I saw someone say Albert Breer next, like, Circle's considering trading Penei Sewell. Like, no, it's not. No one's having the discussion. They know we're not getting rid of Penei Sewell. Brad Holmes did. This is the part where you guys have to like accept reality, though. Brad Holmes did tell you, point blank, period. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
we're going to pick up his 5th-year option and go from there. And it's a real conversations being had. It's not.
This is not out of nowhere. This is not Pixie Dust. It doesn't exist. Like this is not Fugazi, Pixie Dust. Doesn't exist. This is not just random. Like you said, you have the comments from Brad Holmes saying, we'll see when it comes to Jameson Williams because he's going to require $25+ million a year if you want to re-sign him. They're them bringing in Matthew Golden. That happened. That's not just nothing.
Yeah.
And, it's, again, do I think it's going to happen? No, absolutely not. But it's not like it's just out of left field.
If it does, you're just connecting a ball that lands you somebody that's going to help you win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the name is because I don't think it's going to happen, right? I saw a guy, Dante151, tag us in a TJ Watt article. Now, that's coming from a reporter. There's nothing on that. There's no legs on that one at all.
No.
This one, again, we heard Brad talk about it. Albert Breer is very much rooted in what's going on with the NFL. Nick, what's your reaction to this?
The fact is you're, the second best team in the NFC right now. Debatably the best when healthy. This is a Super Bowl contender through and through, and you have him for 2 more years. You're not going to trade a player that takes over in those big games that you have played in. In San Francisco, he scores 2 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. You talk about at the Commanders, Jared Goff gets injured. What do? Instantly get the ball in J-Mo's hands. He goes to the house. Yeah. You're not giving up on that player of that caliber right now in this window. You're just not doing it. If you win a Super Bowl this season, they might move off J-Mo because you'll have to reset and you won't be able to afford everybody, but you don't do it before you win the Super Bowl. Like when the Chiefs moved off Tyreek, they already had one. And so that's what I get there's going to be conversations about it, but I also do believe this might be a little bit slow draft week. There's not really much drama coming out. Get the people talking a little bit. And I do believe there's a little bit of that.
You guys know where I stand on this topic. I want them to pay Jameson Williams. I want Jameson Williams to be a Lion for a while. And like the whole, you can't pay everybody. You can't do this. You can't. The Eagles just signed Cam Jurgens to a 4-year, $68 million contract extension. I don't want to hear that you can't pay everybody because Howie Roseman's fucking doing it. So, like, he's literally paying everybody. I think they'll be able to get it done. I think Brad Holmes will find a way to get these guys and to keep these guys here. And I want Jameson Williams to be a Lion for a long time.
Not scandalous enough. What's your price for JMO? Asked Burn with the super chat.
What's my price?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to start at $21 million, I think.
No, I'm talking about. You talking about?
Oh,
trade.
if you're trading him, I'm not doing it unless I get at least a first-round pick.
Nick,
At least.
Yeah, I was trying to think about teams that like would actually do this, and they would. I mean, it'd be such a fucking move of them, but like the Panthers, I would see like wanting to do something like this, pairing Bryce Young with J-Mo, but that's too high of a draft pick. I believe that they're at like 8 or 9. I don't think they would be stupid enough to do anything like that. And I mean, would you guys do it if it was the 8th or 9th pick?
8th or 9th pick? No, I'm still in the camp of like,
I don't think
I'm contending for a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah,
I'm very much in the camp of like, you got to give me somebody who's gonna help me achieve that goal. 8th or 9th pick, I talked about it, and we had the argument about trading up. No one right now in the rookie year is gonna help you win a Super Bowl. Maybe you get a plethora of those guys, and Brad Holmes is known to do that because he drafts his ass off like no other guys that can help you in the first year. But not one singular guy, especially in this year's draft class, is capable of doing that for you, in my opinion. I've already been on the record saying I think there's only like 1 to 5 actual like star guys. So it'd have to be a top 5 pick at that.
And Sean Lewis in the Woodward Sports Chat says, why y'all keep saying this? It is in response to Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated putting out there that he's heard NFL circles say Jameson Williams could be traded.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for a pick. It'd have to be either a star player guy that's ready to go right now or a guy that's just been on a bad team that is low-key really good but hasn't really got the shine because he's been on a bad team, like that type of guy. I'm not doing it for a pick. I'm not doing it for a question mark. Fuck that. Or unless, if it's going to be a draft situation, draft compensation, okay, first, third, like I'm saying, like, I'm empty your pockets. Run it.
Yeah, you're on a team that's going to be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl next year on the short list of teams. He's an extremely important piece. He's not like Jameson Williams is not a piece that you can just replace, like in the draft. This is a guy who is one of maybe 3 players in the NFL that has the talent that he has, that has that kind of game-breaking speed. Like he is truly in the upper echelon of athlete in the NFL. That's like the top 0.1% of people on the world. So, no, I'm not doing it, man.
Trying to think even like what team would do that.
I just feel like it's hard. It's hard to do because like it's hard. I feel like in a way it's hard for us to know what we want too, bro. We have one of the best like you said, we have one of the best rosters, if not the best roster in the NFL. It's hard to be like, it's not gonna be easy for us to get rid of J-Mo right away because we know what we want. We don't know what we want.
Yeah.
We have our pieces. We're just trying to build onto those pieces and just continue and just strengthen our numbers. Like we don't want to get rid of numbers to gain questionable numbers. Like we want guaranteed numbers, and we have those. We just want a couple more.
And I don't think any NFL team would give you
close to what you're looking
for Jameson Williams. I don't, because they know they're going to have to pay him $30 million. He's got the past history that will affect what teams will be willing to give for a first round pick. This guy can't play full season. That would be an argument that they'd bring up. So I don't think the return for Jameson Williams would even be worth trading him. And I don't, like I said, I think they can get them all done. I've already talked about how I think maybe Sam Laporta is going to be the guy, the odd man out, but like look at the Eagles. The Eagles just signed another guy to a 4-year, $20 million a year contract. So I don't want to hear
it like them.
I don't want to hear that you can't sign them all.
Adam P in the World Sports Chat asks, if you can do it before the draft starts, J-Mo in 28th for a top 15 pick and an early second-round pick.
Nobody's going to do that.
I'm not doing that.
No team would offer a top 15 pick for Jameson Williams right now.
He's saying that in your 28th pick.
Yeah, no.
Like, no, hell no. Absolutely not. Now, Chris, I know you're a big proponent of trading J-Mo. You hate him. Think he's a draft bust.
Yeah.
Where are you at this? This must be a holiday for you.
Yeah, no, this feels good. This feels like a culmination of everything I've ever wanted and breathed. No, I obviously I don't want to trade JMO, but my thing is I would, just because I have been, thinking about this since the Will Anderson days of just back-to-back superstar rookie contract defensive ends. So, the only way I'm doing it is if Abdul Carter is on the table. If you can select Abdul Carter for JMO. But I don't think that's happening.
Travis Hunter, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's happening. And even if it was, I would still let me call you back because JMO's just too electric. He's too important to this offense. I get the theory that wide receivers grow on trees, but not wide receivers like Jameson Williams. So, again, you're in your Super Bowl era, and if you punch one in, I don't care about the future, dog. We can be bad for 10 years. That's cool. I'm fine with that if we punch one in. I really am. I don't get this whole wanting to, obviously you want to build dynasty, but realistically, you're telling me you would rather be where we are now, just continuously in the playoffs, but not punching one in. It's the Buffalo conversation. No, I'd rather punch one in. I'd rather punch one in. And JMO helps with that. So you
to be honest with you, too, I would differentiate just from the Buffalo conversation just because, I think constant they have that always keep them in the conversation is Josh Allen.
Well, I'm talking
with
the four Super Bowls.
Yeah. With our build, the reason why you got to go now is, I think last year, Jared Goff proved get you there. And I obviously get you two there, but you need everything around to do so.
Yep.
And we're not going to be like the Philadelphia Eagles, unfortunately. Spending we don't spend the money like that. Brad thinks long term. Where these guys, there's come a day for the Philadelphia Eagles organization, probably 2-3 years, where those void years will start coming up, and they're going to be very bad for a good 2-3 year stretch.
Don't care
because of it.
They won a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter.
No, for sure, but that's just not the way Brad operates. They operate very much in the long term. That's why he goes BPA over need. That's why he's not giving out these crazy contracts. In free agency or doing the trades that you and I've wanted. It's just long-term thinking. He values his picks. It makes sense. He's great with them. But they're not trading Jameson Williams. I would bet my house on that.
Yeah,
this year.
Like I said, I would be
maybe 2 years.
Extremely surprised if they traded Jameson Williams this year. It just doesn't make sense to me.